Ryan, wait. I just answered your questions. I just answered Ryan. Bad faith, Ryan. So if the president does what he does with the Department of Justice, he orders a prosecution on the basis of someone's race. He says, go after that person because they're black, constitutional or not. In other words, illegal or not. Illegal or not.
What you mean by illegal?
Against the Constitution, unconstitutional. No. Would it be in accordance with the Constitution for the president to order the Department of Justice to prosecute someone on the basis of the race? Answer the question. Answer the question. Answer it.
Here is the difference that Pisco is hoping the audience.
Would it be constitutional? 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 Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, I agree with you. You could go to court and get a TRO or an injunction to prevent the president from doing that because it's unconstitutional.
Wait, but I thought it was in his conclusive and preclusive authorities. So this is what Ryan is trying to tell you, that the courts could issue an injunction as to an action which is in the conclusive and preclusive authorities of the president. Is that right, Ryan? Hey folks, please like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure to check out my newsletter. Information is in the description.
So January 10th, I'm the debate architect for an organization called Word War. And the goal of Word War, sort of the vision of it, to give you just the quickest idea possible of it, was we wanted to combine sort of the entertainment aspects of something like the UFC with debate. And we see the debates becoming bigger and bigger, and you see shows like Piers Morgan, you see the impact of debates like with the presidential debate with Trump-Biden. It's becoming bigger and bigger as voices get bigger on social media. And so the idea is to have a central place where debates could be arbitrated neutrally, where the debaters are treated like the talent that they deserve to be treated, and where there are entertainment values that are ridiculously high, both in person and when you're watching at home. So it's going to be a huge party. Moderation is going to be as best as possible down the middle. And we're going to try to bring some of the biggest names together for debate and people that we think are going to be big in the future that are competently arguing some of the topics that are the most important. And so as part of that event, the very first debate there is going to be my co-host here, Ryan Mullally, and he will be debating frequent frenemy of the show, who's with us right now, our friend Pisco. Woo! Pisco, what's happening? Let's see if I could, there we go, we do that.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. I mean, I don't know about you, Pisco, but I have been saying, I've been hearing rumors that the undercard is just going to steal the show on this debate. I feel like we're gonna knock this one out of the park. This is good. This is gonna be absolutely hype.
It ain't gonna be a debate. It's gonna be a massacre because your shit is whack. It's so fucking whack. And to be honest with you, when I got the call from Dana, it was super, super fulfilling to me, who has worked so hard to bring mastery to another level. I don't think there's anyone in the game who's better than me when it comes to debating these issues. And so I really do think that the people are going to see what I'm capable of, and there ain't even going to be a fight. This is going to be just a beat down. And so yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to most of all.
You think it's going to be that easy, Pisco? You think you're gonna walk all over me after I took the championship belt in our last debate?
That shit was rigged. That shit was rigged. That shit was rigged. Oh, because you have some fucking bullshit judges who were rigged by Admiral Gibbs, who was probably drunk when he picked the fucking judges in that case.
Yeah. The deciding judge was Enemy Charlie, the girl who famously got into that argument with Andrew Wilson recently. You think she was rigged?
You mean when she sniped Andrew Wilson and basically said something tangential?
She's secretly been right-leaning, and she's been on my side all along.
Listen,
I don't think so, Pisco. But you know what? You'll have another chance.
Listen, I don't know how you bring it. You have satisfaction from like rigged wins. You must be like some person who like really wants the participation trophy and any kind of activity that you are a part of. But that was a beatdown debate that we did have, and the fact that the judges that were rigged voted for you in the favor, it means nothing because the people are going to be the judges in this particular debate. I don't give a fuck. Everyone will see exactly what I'm going to do to you. And it's going to be sick. It's going to be sick. I mean, you're here as a centrist defending totally untenable policies from the Trump administration. And on the biggest stage that I've ever been on, in front of maybe the largest crowd I've ever been in front of virtually, it will be devastating for you. And you'll have to delete your channels and accounts.
Pisco, I think you are going to look back at this moment with a lot of regret about the stuff you're saying right now. But we're going to have fun, buddy. It's going to be good. It's going to be really fun.
Did you want me to bring this up? Is this something?
Yeah, this would be great.
What is this? Some kind of ambush? Yeah, I don't need a fucking.
I just wanted to ask you, Pisco, because we've always, I thought, had a pretty good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we had a pretty frenemy type relationship. Would you say, Pisco, that I debate in good faith? Is that how you would describe me?
No, I wouldn't describe you that way.
No, you wouldn't?
No.
So I mean, Rob, can we play this little clip?
Yeah,
this is
Pisco, if you have anything you want to submit to, I'm happy to sit back.
No, I have no doubt standing by my words. I'm going to do that. Like, this is just going to be very easy to just reiterate and just reemphasize. I'm sure whatever it is that you're pointing at.
Well, this is up just for context. Mike up there, Mike Fake Ryan is Mike Two Trees, a friend of me who I often debate, as I think has been on a number of panels.
Who beats you down, who triggers you. That's why you're so mad that you watch
Mike
this.
Has had,
so by the way, this is the equivalent of Bill Belichick going and doing the cameras, the secret cameras that he did. I forget what other team it was, but that's what you're doing right now.
It's fucking crazy that your public stream is public. That's fucking.
Oh wild. No, I'm just saying I don't need to fucking watch your shit to know where you're gonna go.
This is what Mike and Pisco. I'm not even going to do their tactics, but this is what Mike and Pisco said about me after they were done with their strategy session, trying to take the belt from me. So let this run, Rob.
Yeah, you have to hit play. I don't have access to it.
Okay.
Turn on whether you're a citizen, because that is just the whole thing we're trying to define.
Yeah. Wait. So is this debate like October 1st or January 10th?
It's like in a week, dude.
Oh, okay. Just so Jan 10th. Okay. Yeah. No. So that's coming up soon. If you want to prep more, if you want to, I can try and do a little bit more viewing of what Ryan's arguments might be, and maybe we can do another quick little mock debate. I'm just
just being nice. Me being nice. Me being nice, and just
Bill Belichick with the secret cameras?
Just to be clear. Hey. This is you know what this is called? This is called hey. You know what this is called? This is called me placating a loyal member of the community. I have no intention. I don't need to prepare. I don't need shit.
No, what's amazing about this is that
nice fucking screen pause, by the way. I look like a.
Are we good? Are we done with this clip?
You didn't remember that Mike offered to go into my stream?
Oh, I know. Wait. I know he offered that. But I'm placating him. He donates to the channel. He's just like a nice guy. And listen, I know that you don't have many fans, but I actually do want to have a good relationship with the people who come to my stream and who are contributors. And so I will sometimes say yeah, sure, yeah, send me a message. I'll definitely review whatever it is that you want to send me. And Rob, as someone who gets probably similar, because he pulls views. I don't know. He does pull views, and people will send him shit. And sometimes you're like, yeah, I'll get to that. And that's what that is. But you trying to clip it out of that's bad faith, Ryan. That's bad faith.
Oh, it's very bad faith for me to notice that you accuse me of a Bill Belichick spy ring while orchestrating a Bill Belichick spy ring.
You literally, the fact that you're pulling that clip.
Watcher of mine.
Yeah,
Mike's a frequent watcher of mine. He's on my channel all the time.
I'm humoring a fan. Okay. What you're doing is, you as a principal, as a debate opponent, you're going into the locker room and doing a little sneak peek as I'm talking to my fans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what's happening here. That's what's happening, right?
Listen, can
you know
tell
what?
you, buddy.
I
it
actually,
won't matter.
you know
it
what?
won't matter.
I just do want to say something, Ryan, because I have to confess, I am a bit of a hypocrite because I am going to do a little bit of a, looking at your arguments in advance. I'm just going to read like whatever brief the Heritage Foundation has prepared for the Supreme Court, or like the government's brief, and I'm sure that it'll just be the literal translation of what you're about to say on screen.
Oh my God, Pisco, you got me. When we're talking about a Supreme Court case, I might look at what the best lawyers in the field had to say.
The best lawyers, the best lawyers from the Heritage Foundation, centrist Ryan, the best lawyers.
Pisco, you won't say anything that appears in the briefs that oppose the Trump executive order, because surely
I won't be copying it wholesale.
Briefs is a problem based on
I just know that the way that you do research for your position is you read the brief in favor of Trump's argument and you just say that. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't do that. I kind of have a more principled view on what the Constitution should say, but you go into your research and you're like, how do I do my research? I'll just go to the Heritage Foundation or to the government's brief and I'll just say it.
Now, listen, let me ask you both a question real quick, because the audience that's going to be voting is going to be like lay people. It's not going to be exclusively attorneys or anything. Are you more concerned with how the audience votes, or do you want to really win the argument for like the fellow streamer attorneys and people that are in the legal profession that are going to be watching it? You trying to embarrass each other in front of them? You're going to take their.
I have an audience of one, Rob. I have an audience of one, which is Ryan. I want Ryan to know that he's cooked and that I know that he's cooked. He can say whatever he wants about the rigged judges and the other debate from Admiral Gibbs with the rigged judges, but he knew after that conversation, I fucking got him. And so the audience that I'm worried about, the only person that I care about is Ryan. Ryan knowing that he got demolished. So that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah. Unlike Pisco, I use my real name when talking on the internet. I have a legal reputation to defend. So yeah, I will be honest. It does matter to me that, people who are legally educated listen to what I have to say and go, oh yeah, he got that right. But that won't stop me from beating Pisco. It hasn't stopped me from beating Pisco in every debate we've had so far. I don't see why it would be an obstacle this time around.
Every debate so far.
With the disadvantage of having to defend a professional reputation. And, it doesn't hinder me because I know what I'm talking about.
It's so funny. Every debate so far, including the one that we most recently had about the American moral proposition, where
you got
I seem to recall that your position in that debate was something like, well, if it's written on my heart, I know it's objective morality, and that means that it's correct. And that's why, even though the framers had slaves, they were more adhering to the American moral proposition than the woke DEI people who want, affirmative action. But that was the debate which you won, right? You won that debate?
Well, my position was the Declaration of Independence is a moral statement of values for the country. And your position was, fuck that. I know better than our founders. So yeah, I think I did pretty well.
My position was, fuck that. I know better than well, listen,
yes,
if that was, I challenge everyone to go into that conversation and define where I said, fuck the framers. But this is the kind of tactics we're used to from Ryan. Is his distillations, unlike my distillations, are just made up in their like fairy tale land shit. And you know what? To be honest, he can have it, right? He can have all of the little fucking games that he's going to play. He can have the little side editorial comments, because I just care about being in his fucking head and him knowing that crushing feeling that the people who know, they know that he just got fucking demolished on objective morality. Can't even define it. Doesn't know shit about the American moral proposition that he's just inventing as though it were some concept that has a long pedigree.
Yeah, it has, obviously, the American moral proposition. This is what I mean. This is why he lost that debate. It couldn't possibly have a long pedigree. It was only cited by Jefferson, Frederick Douglass, Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King Jr., all cited the same American moral proposition that I did, that Pisco suddenly thinks doesn't matter because he knows better. But that's how it goes. And the thing about Pisco is he's a lot of fun to debate. He does his yes or no thing. He gets all mad. He gets feisty. But at the end of the day, I don't know. He just hasn't won one yet. So maybe I should throw him one just for.
Oh, now the excuses come out. The excuses come out.
Have the experience of winning a debate. So that actually might be good.
So when you're seething in the comments,
I think actually I'll just win this one too, because it is kind of a big stage.
Yeah, listen, it's a big stage where the best go to bang. I don't know what this guy what's this guy's name? Who's the announcer guy? I forget his name. This
Ben Swan.
This piece of ass. This piece of ass.
Yo, Rob, can we talk about this for a second?
Yeah.
It is fucked up to have a moderator that much better looking than us.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah.
That's like,
well, I mean, I'm here now, so you guys get a precursor. You know?
Yeah, Pisco, we're just gonna get fucking mogged on stage like all night.
Yeah, but the guy's like, he's gonna be like the situation from Jersey Shore. Like, what does the fuck does he know? What the fuck does he know about any of these issues? It sounds like he's just like an actor or some kind of like news guy, or maybe he's a conservative. He's probably some fucking lunatic conservative.
Well,
I'm gonna take the opposite.
Ben Swan is a consummate professional and a mainstream media person who's done tons of work in the field. Now, as far as moderation, it shouldn't matter to you all whether or not he understands the argument as much as that he could proffer a fair debate to give both sides a point of view. So I hope no one's planning on setting up any excuses. Well, the moderator.
I'm not setting up excuses. No, I want you to have all the advantages. I want you to
Pisco, I love the moderator.
Listen.
Good guy.
In the analyst desk is not Sarah, who is the more liberal person, but I have critiqued her in recent, because of some of the debate performances. I was very nice to her most recent one, but I was kind of critical of the Tim Pool. So she might have an axe to grind. You have Gavin McInnes, who I met, and I kind of yelled at it, so he has an axe to grind. And then you have Sam Tripoli, who I guess he's neutral, but not really. And so
he might have an axe to grind. He's a comedian, and so if you're not very funny,
and I've talked a little shit. I told him that he sounds like an Arkham Asylum goon, and he sounds like, hey, yeah. So I'm fine with that. I want Ryan to have all the advantages, so that when the crushing defeat happens.
Yeah, I don't know Jared or Sam, but if you saw my last conversation with Not So Erudite, I think she probably has a bigger axe to grind with me than you. So
maybe, I would just say this. I would say that the last interaction I had with Erudite, who I'm actually working with in this, she said I have bigger breasts than her. So that's how that's gone between us. So she'll be a professional, though.
I know she'll be a professional. I trust Kyla to be a professional there. What I expect though is when Gavin McInnes and Sam Tripoli say Ryan cooked, Ryan's gonna be like, I won because the fucking very balanced analyst squad all agreed I won, and that will be very. The thing is, I don't care, Ryan.
Are you Gavin McInnes? Saying Sam Tripoli can't be trusted? What are you saying?
Sam Tripoli.
You're saying Sam Tripoli can't be trusted to be fair? Sam
Tripoli's so unhinged. He tried to like kill Red Bar. He tried to kill Mike Red Bar because he's so fucking unhinged. I mean, this comedian dude, like, this is part of Joe Rogan's, like, have you heard of the Joe Rogan Texas comedians here? Like, these motherfuckers might as well be cultists, and you're asking whether or not he's going to be very objective in this legal debate. Yeah, I mean,
oh my god. So this is the Pisco
No, keep playbook. The rigged judges. Keep the rigged. No, I want you to have the rigged judges.
They're not judges. They're commentators.
No one's good. You know what we should do, Rob? We should just let Destiny judge the debate. That's the only thing.
I don't think he likes Pisco.
Wait, that would be great. Okay, let me think about what Destiny has said about me in the recent weeks. He said, I'm bad faith piece of shit. The only reason I have some of these like debates with like Hutch and stuff is to appeal to tankies. And so, yeah, why don't we get another judge who is critical of me and my takes?
You know what Destiny said about me the last time I heard him talk about me?
Wait, that's fair. I mean, like, he really hates you. So
he called me a MAGA cocksucker, and then said,
okay, I'll give you that one. Hey, I'll give you that one.
And then I'm not done. Yeah. And then compared me to Mr. Girl. That was where Destiny went last time you talked about
I'll give you that one. All right, I'll give you the actual win. I'll do the concession. Even now, Destiny probably likes me better than he likes you. In all fairness, and probably more than Rob too. Rob as well. That said, go ahead, Rob. Sorry.
No, as a Pisco, I'm starting to see a pattern. It seems like people from both the left and the right have an axe to grind with you. What's going on?
Well, it's because I'm a truth teller. I'm not just I don't just pander like Ryan does. All Ryan can do is like go under conservatives and be like, hey, man, these Democrats, am I right? And all he can do is learn to pander to like the MAGA because he wants to, like, I don't know, bring them into the fold of his budding cult regarding American moral position.
In fairness, though, Ryan's just getting starting out streaming, so who knows? Maybe Sam and Gavin will hate him too. You never know. It's possible.
There's always room for another feud. But I will say, Pisco, I think maybe I get along with not Destiny, but some people better because I don't interrupt them in the middle of small talk to ask them yes or no questions. This is how Pisco orders a bagel. It's like, I'd like a bagel. And they're like, would you like butter on that? It's like, yes or no? Yes or no? I want a bagel. Yes or no? Tell me, is it a bagel? And then he's like, why do people think negative of me? I have great social skills. I interact with people like a sane human being.
Yeah, so interacting with people like a sane human being is what you do, Ryan, when you are perhaps the most arrogant fucking tight ass that's ever existed on the internet, and when you can't even concede the most basic propositions in your debates, such as what we had in the previous debate, where you couldn't even concede like literal words in front of you about the Declaration of Independence. So I'm sure that people find that very, they find you very takeable.
The thing you'll find, Pisco, is that I am happy to concede points when they warrant concession. The problem is you don't make a lot of points that warrant concession. So, there's a first time for everything, Pisco. Eventually you'll say something that it's worth conceding to. But today's not that day. I don't know.
So why do you enjoy debating with me so much, Ryan, if you think that I don't have anything of value to say? I'm setting you up.
Unfortunately, Pisco, when it comes to legal topics, a lot of people on the internet don't know their ass from their goddamn elbow. And at least, and I will say this and give you your props, and this is why I'm excited about the debate, by the way. This is why I'm excited about the debate. As much fun as I have making fun of Pisco, I don't think there's anybody in the Twitch political space who knows the law from the left perspective better than you.
Hey.
No, seriously. I don't think there is anybody. So when I win, then
you've hit the apex. You've hit the apex. Well, I'll give you your flowers as well, Ryan. You seem like a family man, a decent man, and your arguments. Let me think. Your arguments don't make me want to hang myself all the time. That said, I will suggest to you that one thing you maybe could do to prepare a little better for the next discussion that we have, for example, on the Trump immunity decision, is to do maybe like any background reading whatsoever on the substantive cases that Roberts is citing, instead of just adopting wholesale what the justices are saying in any case. So listen, I appreciate
that is hysterical, because Pisco, I invite anybody, go listen. It's on my channel, it's on Pisco's channel. Go listen to the debate. One of the things that happened in that debate is that Pisco took a position that the actual lawyers who were actually litigating against Trump said was not legally viable in oral argument. And Pisco's like, this is the position.
I don't even know what you're referencing.
I read him the quote. I read him the quote where they admit to Justice Gorsuch this is not a viable legal argument. Pisco's like, Ryan doesn't
I don't even know. I don't believe
Ryan has no idea what he's talking about.
I don't believe your rendition there. But no, I am looking forward to the debate, Ryan. I think that this is in between the Jews are evil debate and the women shouldn't vote debate. This, I think, will be perhaps the most exciting debate for the people who actually care about politics. That said, props to Anna Kasparian and Just Pearly Things. I mean, that's a huge debate, and I encourage everyone to watch each and every one of those bouts, even though I think that ours will be the best.
Real quick, all I have to add is this: I am heavily interested in legal debates. It seems crazy with all the streamers that are in sort of the legal sphere. It seems like you would assume there'd be far more online legal debates. So I'm hoping that this really gets the ball rolling, because there's a lot of very interesting voices out there in the legal sphere online on YouTube, and it's almost like they're in an isolated arena. They're not really debating. So I hope this gets the groundwork going for that and encourages people to
I wonder why, because speaking of Destiny, did you see, Ryan, when this guy, the Law of Self-Defense, and then who's the other motherfucker? Good Logic showed up to discuss the strikes?
I didn't. I actually, my chat told me about it, but I have not seen it.
It's because, frankly, just like you think that I'm like the pinnacle, I guess, of Twitch politics when it comes to legal stuff. They really can't do much better than you, Ryan, because when they go onto these individual debates, it is so embarrassing that they have to leave early or say things like, "Oh no, bombs can't cause shipwrecks." It really does, strain credulity, and there's a reason why they don't show up to these debates, and I think it has less to do with I don't know, they're not aware that those opportunities exist, and more to do with they know that they're out of their depth.
Well, on the flip side, I debated immunity with Destiny 3 times. And in every conversation with Destiny started with, there's no constitutional basis for immunity. and
And he was right. And he was right.
And ended with admitting that there are certain areas where Congress has no power, which is, of course,
not immunity.
So
You have this whole thing where words mean whatever you want them to mean.
With Destiny, he started with there's no basis for this and ended up admitting the basis for it. The fact that his two fans are too stupid to put two and two together and realize
it's your false contention that immunity equals Congress not having authority over a domain. And the fact that you bandy that around as a win shows that you continue to stupidly conflate lack of legislative authority with immunity from criminal action.
Yeah, because if Congress doesn't have the power to criminalize something, and it's specific to the president, they don't have the power to criminalize something as to the president, then the president is immune because Congress
so says you.
Illegal.
Yeah, because you're just using a colloquial definition of immunity and trying to pass that off. I
love Pico. You're just colloquially using the definition used by the Supreme Court.
No,
that's crazy.
Literally not. The opinion that you cite, Amy Coney Barrett's opinion, has a sui generis definition of immunity mapping onto the majority in that case, and you have to deal with the argument in its strongest form, which is that immunity doctrine, right? Immunity as we mean it is something different than you mean it. So just get over the semantic hump, and you continuing. Let me just finish this point.
People are so fucking stupid.
Let me just finish this point.
They think inability to be prosecuted is somehow different than immunity in some meaningful way. It
is. And if you were good faith, you would listen to what people like Destiny and I say about the difference between immunity and lack of legislative authority, and you would actually deal with it on its merit. But instead, what you do is you play this semantic game, which we don't, and try to conflate the two concepts that your interlocutors are using as though we believe that they're conflated, and bandy that around like a win. That's bad faith. What you just did to Destiny is bad faith, because of course Destiny would grant that there are areas where there isn't legislative authority, but that doesn't mean that that's immunity on his view. And instead of using his view and adopting his frame to try to have it in its best form, you use bad faith and misconstrue what Destiny means in that concession and try to say that it's a win. Disgusting behavior.
But let's look at what Pisco's saying for a second. Pisco's saying that I shouldn't call it immunity, but conceding that they don't have the power to make what the president did illegal. So
they're different things.
Let's not call it immunity. Let's call it a cup of coffee. No. The president has a cup of coffee, and that cup of coffee prevents him from being charged with these crimes or prosecuted.
No, but it doesn't, right?
Okay,
so
the
big difference is that the difference in labeling also is a conceptual difference that bears on what the government is able to do. So the fact that there is a potential for there to be a room, not in the specific case, but just in general conceptually, where Congress can't legislate, doesn't mean that in the case at bar that they were in such an area as applied, and it would give the Department of Justice the ability to try to see and test whether or not their specific prosecution was in fact in one of those areas, as opposed to an immunity doctrine where, as we had in the actual case, we couldn't even decide whether it was in an area where Congress has no legislative authority or et cetera, et cetera. It was just merely a blanket criminal saying that you're immune.
Pisco somehow believes that if Congress has no power to make something illegal, that the courts should entertain cases about that subject matter. Congress has no power. They're not allowed to do it.
That's your presumption. Wait,
Congress has no power to do this.
There's no contradiction there, Ryan. There's no contradiction at all. I have not conceded that Congress doesn't have legislative authority to prevent or to affect the president in the exercise of his.
Can we play the tape back? Wasn't your point just a second ago that there was a difference between Congress lacking authority and immunity?
No,
the implication being that
no. So sneaky motherfucker. So no, I didn't. Just because I say that there is such thing as a possibility for a particular power or use of a power to be absent any kind of legislative authority doesn't mean that in the specific Jack Smith indictment that what happened there was one of those cases. So another bad faith tactic. Just because I grant the concept accept that there is such
we
a
were
thing.
talking about immunity in general, Pisco.
Not
You
with
know
respect,
damn
no,
well
no, no,
what we
not
were
with
talking
respect,
about.
not with respect to the specific Jack Smith indictment. I never once conceded that I thought Congress didn't have legislative authority in that specific area. I of course think they do.
So let's pick an area
another
where we
bad
both agree
faith,
they
a
lack
bad
power.
faith bullshit.
No. I want to test your theory because
Yeah, go for it.
I haven't gotten into it.
Go
Let's
for
test
it.
the theory. The pardon power, where we both agree, surely Congress has no power to regulate, right?
Not in every respect. No, I think with respect to, for example, bribery schemes where pardons are at the center of what's going on, Congress can regulate pardons. Congress can regulate pardons insofar as include as part of a potential criminal indictment for bribery the official act of a pardon as part of the scope of what's going on there. So no, I don't grant that Congress can no respect.
But
affect,
Congress could not pass a law that says the president cannot do pardons on Wednesday.
Yeah, so as such, that law, I think, they would be without.
And if they passed such a law and somebody tried to prosecute the president for it, that law could not be applied to the president, correct?
That law specifically,
Yes.
on its face, would be unconstitutional.
And would he be
that's not true.
immune because
that's
he's
not immunity.
from prosecution under this
No,
law?
because that's not immunity. No, because it's not immunity.
Okay.
I answered that. Wait.
This
I
is
didn't
what
answer
say
it.
about
No,
the
because it's
cup
not
of
immunity.
coffee. I don't give a fuck if you call it immunity, you call it a cup of coffee.
Yeah, but there's a difference.
That's the point.
Yeah, but
I
there's a
think the audience
difference.
understands.
Yeah, but there's a
That there-
difference.
if-
Yeah, but
when
there's a
you
difference.
have a situation where Congress lacks the power to make something criminal,
That's not immunity.
obviously
Find the
they
definition of
can't
immunity.
prosecute those crimes.
So what Ryan
because
can't do.
it's illegal for
So
Congress
what
to have
Ryan.
done what they
So
did.
what Ryan can't do is provide you a definition of immunity that contains that. He can't do it. He can't go to Black's Law Dictionary. He can't go to the common law definition of immunity and say that anytime there's a separation of powers challenge that invalidates a particular law or a particular action, that constitutes immunity. It's preposterous because it's not the definition of immunity. It's the sui generis version of immunity that was used by the Supreme Court, in which he's conflating with normal separation of powers challenges.
It's a distinction without a difference that Pisco makes a mountain out of.
I am
because
telling you
it
that
is
there's a difference.
completely
Here's the
irrelevant.
difference.
And
Here's the
concurrence
difference.
from Amy Coney Barrett spelled this out.
Here-
It's you can't charge them and the right to interlocutory appeal. That she said it, that's what it is. And I don't, honestly, at the end of the day, if the best you have is a pedantic semantic
It's not
argument
pedantic.
about,
Wait,
let's
no,
not,
it's not
let's not call this
pedantic.
immunity, even though you would.
Yeah, because you want to change. You're like the libs. You're like the fucking woke libs. You're like the woke libs. Like, oh, let's have gender mean anything we want. Let's have these other fucking concepts mean anything we want. So you have no way to actually cite a definition of immunity that backs up your point. And it's not just a pedantic semantic difference. The difference is huge because in the one case, the court is actually going to inquire as to the legality of the underlying conduct or the law in question, which wasn't done in this case. What happened in this case is we're not looking at the relative, viability of Congress legislated in this domain. All we look to is whether or not the actions pertain to things within the president's core exclusive authority. And so rather than make a judgment about whether Trump did what he did was legal or whether Congress could, if it wanted to, regulate that conduct, they passed the buck and said, we're not even going to look at that. That's a massive, massive difference, which Ryan wants to, of course, evade because he knows he's wrong on it.
Into whether it is in the president's preclusive and exclusive powers is the inquiry into whether Congress had the right to regulate that.
No,
because if it's in
it's
the president's
not.
Preclusive and exclusive powers. Preclusive and exclusive.
No, it's not. So here's the question, right? So if
preclusive and exclusive, let's go back. Let's go. What do you think preclusive and exclusive means?
It's with respect to which branch of government has authority to make a determination.
Yeah,
but it doesn't.
But
it doesn't.
So preclusive.
No,
meaning
no,
what?
no. This is not
preclusive meaning
preclusive. Meaning no one else has it. No one else has it. But
and
that's
exclusive meaning
no.
what?
But no. Stop. Exclusive meaning no one else has to do. But hang on a second.
Okay.
So Ryan, wait. I just answered your questions. I just answered Ryan. Bad faith, Ryan. I'm going to now address your point because you can find areas of concept of where the president is ordering stuff, which you will call illegal. So here's an example, right? So if the president does what he does with the Department of Justice, he orders a prosecution in his conclusive and preclusive authority on the basis of someone's race. He says, go after that person because they're black, constitutional or not. In other words, illegal or not. Answer it.
Are you have to
illegal
specify
or not?
What you mean by illegal?
Against
Do
the
you mean,
Constitution,
can he be
unconstitutional.
do you
No,
mean-
no,
no.
illegal.
Do you mean,
In
can he
accordance
be
with the
prosecuted?
in accordance with the
do you mean-
in accordance with the Constitution. That's what I mean by illegal in this context. In accordance with the Constitution. Would it be in accordance with the Constitution for the president to order the Department of Justice to prosecute someone on the basis of the race? Answer the question. Answer the fucking question. Answer the question. Answer the question. Answer the question. Answer it.
This is why no one likes
Yes or no?
you,
Yes or no? 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 Would it be constitutional? Yes or
I'm gonna
no?
answer
Would it
the
be
question.
constitutional? Would it be
Shut the fuck
constitutional?
up
Would it be
for 2
constitutional? Would it be constitutional? Would it be constitutional?
Here is the difference that Pisco is hoping the audience
Would it be
doesn't
constitutional? Would it be
understand.
constitutional? Would it be constitutional?
There
Would it be
are
constitutional? Would it be
two
constitutional? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or
One
no? Yes or no?
is-
Just
no,
let him
yes or
go,
no?
Pisco. I'll make sure he gives a yes or no.
yeah.
I will, but leave him go
One
for.
is, could you go to court and get an order that says the president must be stopped from doing this because it is unconstitutional? In that case, the answer is yes. The second question is, could you later go to court and prosecute the president for a crime for doing that? In which case, the answer is no. So it depends on which legal action you're talking about. But yes, I agree with you. You could go to court and get a TRO or an injunction to prevent the president from doing that because it's unconstitutional.
Wait, but I thought it was in
But
his
that is a
conclusive
separate-
and preclusive
that
authorities.
is a
I thought it was
separate
in his conclusive and
issue.
preclusive authorities. So you're telling me that
That is
something.
a separate
Wait, you're
issue.
telling me that the courts could order. Wait, so this is what Ryan is trying to tell you: that the courts could issue an injunction as to an action which is in the conclusive and preclusive authorities of the president. Is that right, Ryan?
Pisco. can we
Answer
back
the
up for a
fucking
second if you wanna go- if you wanna
question.
go
You fucking
yes or
bloviating
no?
fuck. Answer the
Yeah.
question.
Give him a chance.
Yeah. Pisco, there is a world of difference between a criminal prosecution and what's happening in the example that you laid out. And here is the difference. In a criminal prosecution, the question is
Not what I asked.
does
Not what I asked. Not what I asked. Not what I
Congress-
asked. Not what I asked.
It is what you
Just
asked.
know
Let him finish.
Does
Then you can make your point. I
Congress
promise.
have this authority? And the answer was no, because it's the president's conclusive and preclusive authority. The question you're asking now is whether the Constitution as a whole has been violated, which is a different question. So because you're asking different questions, you get different answers.
Okay, give Pisco a chance. Go ahead.
Okay, so the question is very simple. Can the judiciary, a creature of statute, say a lower district court, whose injunctive powers are also a creature of statute in that Congress has given equitable powers to the court through vesting statutes that give them such authority, could the court issue an injunction into an action which is in the preclusive and conclusive authority of the president, and it's calling for a yes or no?
I believe that would go to the Supreme Court for the reason you just said. But yes, in this instance, I think that you could probably get an injunction in that context, but you could not get a criminal conviction. For the reasons
So
I've
the
explained.
mere fact that on the Supreme Court's view that something is within the conclusive and preclusive authorities of the president isn't enough to know that Congress, quote, can't legislate in that area because you just granted that they could. What the difference is, and that shows you the difference in that I was trying to say in this entire time, the between the question of whether Congress can legislate in a sphere and criminal immunity. And this just beautifully exposed it, because he does say, Ryan just said, that there are ways in which Congress can directly regulate the conduct of the president, notwithstanding the fact that it's in the conclusive and preclusive authority.
No.
Well, in what respect haven't you? Congress enacts these lower federal courts. They give them injunctive powers.
I said
they're creatures of
Supreme Court
statute.
would have to be the one to do that.
But,
That's why I said it would have to go to the Supreme Court.
In virtue of, so only the Supreme Court could issue an injunction as to the president.
Probably.
Why?
Yes.
What's the basis of that claim? What's the
because the Supreme Court is created by the Constitution, not by statute.
No, but the vesting clause of Article 3 says the judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court and in such inferior courts as Congress may from time to time ordain and establish. Stop. I'm not done. The judicial power is vested both in one Supreme Court and in such inferior courts as Congress may from time to time ordain and establish. That is where the judicial power lies. Yeah. And so what is the basis to say that the Supreme Court is the only body just because you invented if it's established by the Constitution, they're the only ones who can do it rule? Where is that? That's just, you just made that up.
when you have a clash of constitutional issues of this dimension, it's going, like, obviously it's going to start in the lower courts. It's going to work its way up. I think the argument you raised is one that would be raised and would be litigated. It ultimately would go to the Supreme Court, who would decide the issue. And because the Supreme Court decides the issue's off the table. It's not, I don't think it's actually that complicated.
Sorry, the question is only why you think that there's a distinction between which court can order the injunction, the Supreme Court or any such lower inferior court that Congress may from time to time ordain and establish. And it sounded like you're saying only the Supreme Court can issue an injunction in these cases. But the question is, why?
Because you were raising earlier, Pisco, a separation of powers argument. And I was granting that it is possible that argument would have some force, which would then mean that the lower courts would kick this up the chain because they were concerned about the separation of powers argument that you, by the way, raised. It was your argument. This is, to me, it's just a ramble. Like, the whole point of me issuing this hypothetical was to show you that, yes, Congress can establish rules in areas of equitable power for courts in which the courts or Congress directly through their various different decisions can affect and by extension regulate the conduct of the president exercising his conclusive and preclusive authorities. What would be the statute that was regulating the president's conduct in that example?
Yeah, so we are establishing the inferior courts. Yeah, so for example, the Judiciary Act. The Judiciary Act of 17. The Judiciary Act. The Judiciary. I'm answering you directly, so you can't.
Leave him answer, Ryan.
I'm answering it directly. You said which statute? No, which statute? No, which statute? I said the Judiciary Act of 1789. That's a statute. I answered your question.
Okay. In the example where the Supreme Court issues the order, which statute?
The statutes granting the Supreme Court the power to make. I don't know the specific statutes that sit here, but there are grants of Supreme Court injunctive power. They are. Do you deny that? Do you deny that? Do you deny that? Do you deny that? Do you deny that?
Pisco, I know you like.
Do you deny that?
The issue that Pisco is trying to gloss over here is that the problem with the criminal prosecution is that Congress passes a law that criminalizes the president's behavior and they lack the power to do it. In the example where the Supreme Court relies on its own constitutional authority, we have a very different fact pattern. It's a completely different.
Well, I thought it was conclusive and preclusive. Wait. I'm going to do what you did. What does exclusive mean, Pisco? What does preclusive mean, Pisco? Oh, so now the court isn't. Now they're sharing discretion over the executive. I thought you said preclusive, exclusive, conclusive.
Pause. Can you define, for those of us that aren't attorneys, preclusive and conclusive?
So my understanding, do you want me to do it? Or
either of you. Yeah, either one. Because there's someone sitting here listening. And understand this, too, at Word War. Just remember, you two are attorneys, so you have a different vocabulary than us. So
yeah. So
by the way, just since we're having a pause in the fire, Pisco, what's your timing, Rob? What's your timing
for today or
night? So I don't care what.
Yeah, for today.
I'm just chilling, bro. I'm just chilling like a villain. Cool. Yeah,
I'm good till 10, but it's
okay. So I understand conclusive to be they're the ones that decide the issue. Finally, they conclude the issue, and preclusive means they, to the extent that someone else has made a different decision, they destroy those other decisions. Those decisions have no effect. That the what the president decides in the given context is the thing. It's both the final thing and it pushes out all the other things.
Is that fair, Ryan? Is that basically what you're saying?
I think that's more or less fair. And if we're going to back up and try to take a second and explain some legal niceties that I think we've been glossing over, one of the big differences in these examples is in the situation where someone goes to court and asks for the president's doing something illegal, please make him stop. They're not actually suing the president almost ever. What they'd be doing in this case is they'd be asking the attorney general to be stopped from doing something. The attorney general's doing something illegal, not the president. And they would then ask for injunctive relief to prevent the attorney general from violating the Constitution. That is very different than saying that the president violated a specific law passed by Congress that Congress lacked the authority.
Don't you believe in the unitary executive, Ryan? Don't you believe in the unitary executive?
It's a purely constitutional issue.
Wait a second. In the other case, don't you believe in the unitary executive?
That was unconstitutional.
Wait. I thought you believed in the unitary executive theory, Ryan.
The president is the unitary executive, not the attorney general.
So in what respect? So I thought that the entirety of the executive power of the United States was vested in a president, a singular president. And so in what respect to the extent that the attorney general is using executive authority, how is it different in kind from what the president is exercising, such that it would apply, that you can do this kind of inelegant exception that you just invented out of thin air?
Pisco, do you seriously think that unitary executive theory means that there's no situation in which any other branch can ever contradict the president or say he's breaking the law or violating the Constitution? Is that what?
No, did I say? No, did I say that?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No. What I'm saying is from a theory.
What point are you trying to make?
So it sounds like you're suggesting that when the attorney general exercises executive authority, they're not executing authority that's vested in the president.
They're not executing all the authority. No.
Is there any part of what they're exercising that isn't ultimately derived from the president's executive vesting clause?
The attorney general, unlikely. It's probably executive function. Depends on the fact.
You understand the issue here, right? Once you're okay with subdividing the executive power into lower branch officials and saying, oh, well, this proximity away from the president means that, we can start, having congressional input into what's happening. You're really now scraping the bottom of the barrel of what this immunity decision is going to look like. So now, as long as we tailor the statutes to be like sort of targeted towards the lower executive branch officials, we can absolutely regulate the president's conduct just through those lower branch officials. Okay, the president ordering an investigation, that can't be criminally touched, but the attorney general executing what the president is saying from a determination that they just issued like an order to the attorney general, we can go after the attorney general. And so by subdividing the executive power, you're making a hash out of the doctrine. The doctrine doesn't make any sense.
You're changing the hypothetical. The hypothetical we were discussing is, could someone go to court and get a court order that says, you, attorney general, are violating the Constitution because you are violating the Equal Protection Clause or some other constitutional provision. Therefore, you are directed to stop.
Who is this court to say? The president ordered. The president ordered this.
Let me finish the thought. That is entirely different than whether or not Congress can pass a law that would do something, and whether or not that someone can be prosecuted to that. The whole government is, of course, governed by the Constitution.
I'm not sure why.
Powers issue comes up because Congress was using a power that it doesn't have in the criminal prosecution context.
Who is this court? Wait, if the president orders the attorney general to initiate an investigation, who is this court to order the attorney general not to follow the exclusive and preclusive and conclusive authorities of the president? This court gets to tell the attorney general, don't listen to the president? Is that what you're telling me, Ryan?
Let's say.
Answer that first, and then you can explain.
No, I'm going to take the example and take it to the extreme so we can understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Let's say the president ordered the attorney general or a general in the military to commit treason. They said, okay, you know what? We would like you, attorney general, to commit treason against the United States. The idea that there is, and we've talked about this at length because you know my views on this, the idea that the structure of the Constitution would prevent the government from defending itself against a constitutionally defined crime isn't the same thing as saying that whether Congress can pass some
talking about a constitutionally defined crime. This is your way to get out of it. I didn't speak of treason. I said
let me ask each of you a question here, Pisco. Like, in discussions I've had with you in the past, you've made it very clear that just because something is illegal doesn't mean that someone could be criminally prosecuted. Correct. For example, you could illegally spy on the president, but that doesn't mean that any of the people that did that through it's good. So given that, it seems that Ryan seems to be making a compelling argument. If the definition of immunity is cannot prosecute, that you would be able to say, yes, there's injunctive relief to say that a president could do things that are unconstitutional, but that does not mean that you could criminally charge him. If you already accept that there's times we could say something's illegal, but it doesn't result in criminal prosecution, why would that be different here?
Rob, it's a beautiful rendition of what you just said. I agree with almost like entirely, that there is a difference between immunity from criminal prosecution and saying that Congress can't legislate in a given area. That's what I've been trying to say, Rob. The whole time I'm trying to say that when Ryan claims by virtue of the fact that Congress can't legislate in a given place, that equals criminal immunity, that you just explained why that's not the case. Because just because you can't indict a president over something doesn't mean that Congress can't legislate with respect to it. And so they're not the same thing. And so when he accuses Destiny of conceding this major win to him just by intentionally misunderstanding what Destiny was saying, it obviously is a bad faith move. And he knows it. That's why he's smiling. So beautiful, Rob. You just explained it. Yes.
Well,
No,
I'll give you a chance to respond. Go ahead, Ryan. Then I have a question for you as well.
No, I mean, I think, as we're running up on the end here, like, I think that the issue here is so simple that it would take a lawyer to overcomplicate it. If Congress doesn't have the power to make something criminal, then you can't prosecute that as a crime. Congress doesn't have the power to make certain things the president does criminal, so they can't be prosecuted for those crimes. Call it immunity, call it whatever the fuck you want. The outcome is the same. That is very different from saying, can you, on the basis not of a statute passed by Congress, but on the basis of the Constitution itself, ask that a branch of the government be stopped from violating the Constitution itself, not some law, the actual Constitution. These are very different questions. I understand it's convenient for Pisco to conflate them, but they're very different questions, which is why they receive different answers.
Only one side's conflating here, Ryan.
Let me ask you a question then, Ryan. This is a two-parter. First off, can you envision an action where the Attorney General carrying out an order from the President of the United States could be criminally prosecuted for carrying out that order?
Yes, that's the treason example I just gave.
Okay, so if you believe in unitary executive theory, and it's just that the Attorney General is basically just an underling of the unitary executive, wouldn't that by default be saying that Attorney General should be covered under that unitary executive theory? And if there is true presidential immunity, the Attorney General also shouldn't be allowed to be prosecuted?
Yes.
Well, in the example that I just gave, and by the way, I just want to be totally clear about what I'm doing here, because typically I say what the court said and try to use their points. This is beyond the court's ruling. This is like a Ryan Mullally gloss on things. So understand that I'm kind of like off on my own here. But the court didn't decide any of this because none of this was before the court, right? My view personally is that, yes, they everything they said was right because separation of powers dictated the outcome in that case. However, treason is a constitutionally defined crime. It is the only constitutionally defined crime. So if someone is committing treason, they are by definition stepping outside of their role, no matter what that role is. You cannot both be the executive and commit treason.
But it's against the Constitution. Wait, it's against the Constitution. It's against the Constitution to steal an election or to conspire to do so. It's unconstitutional. In the same way that treason defines, the crime of, the Constitution defines the crime of treason. The Constitution prevents the president from trying to steal an election. One of the theories
that wasn't the question. The question was, is it unconstitutional for the president to direct his subordinates to investigate potential election crime? That was the question for
the way that you frame it, right? The way that you frame it does all the work for you. So yeah, you're framing it in the way that Trump would want you to frame it. But the better way to frame it, just like in the example, because I'll provide you one, because you've already said it would be illegal, is let's say that the administration were prosecuting someone because they were Jewish. Could Congress criminalize that? No, they couldn't criminalize it, notwithstanding the fact that it's illegal, correct?
They could not criminalize it, no.
Even though it's illegal, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that goes to show you that it's different things. That just because something is in the conclusive, according to the court and according to you, and preclusive authorities of the president doesn't mean that he's the last word on what is legal and what is not. And we're able, in fact, to cover, that is to say, the immunity doctrine covers more than merely what's in the president's authorities. It covers things that the president could do that would be illegal. Of course, an immunity doctrine that only covered legal things would be absurd.
The point you're making now is like trivially true. Of course, any immunity doctrine protects illegal activity. What the fuck else would it protect? If the thing you were doing weren't a crime, it wouldn't.
So why does the president? So why do we give immunity for things that the president doesn't have authority to do?
Because he had authority to do this.
No, wait. He wouldn't have authority to order investigation on the basis of someone being Jewish, right? You agree with that?
He wouldn't have the authority. I think
Correct.
he probably would have the authority to do
So
that.
you think the
It would
president
be-
has the
he'd be
authority
incorrect.
no, you think the
I
president
think
would
he
have the
could be-
authority?
I think he could be enjoined, but I don't think. I don't think it's outside.
So
the scope
wait,
of his
he would be
authority.
enjoined. Why would he be enjoined? Because he can't order it, right? He doesn't have the power
Yes.
to do it, right? So it shows you, right? It proves you that the immunity doctrine not only is covering things that are within the president's authority, but also things that are outside the president's
Well,
authority.
if what you're saying is, Pisco, could in a future case, which was not before the court, so is not part of this immunity decision,
Dodge.
in a future case, would it be correct if the court said we can in fact prosecute presidents for things that are constitutional violations, not statutory violations? I would agree with you. That was my.
That's
treason
one of
point
the
I just made
arguments
earlier.
of the Jack Smith indictment was this was a conspiracy against rights. That's one of the conspiracies. A conspiracy against rights.
Is a statutory offense.
No, but it's no.
It's
obvious.
section 1983, Pisco. It is a
obvious.
statute. No. Pisco,
Obviously,
Pisco.
but so is
Pisco.
treason is a statutory offense.
I honestly, dude, I hate to do this to you because I know it's your move. Is conspiracy to violate rights a
Yes,
statute
so is
passed by
treason.
Congress?
Treason is a statute
Yes,
passed by Congress.
But treason, unlike that particular crime, is defined.
So
in the
it's a
Constitution.
statutory. No,
It's
no,
a
but the
constitutionally defined
the
crime.
Constitution does not enact a treason statute. It just defines the scope of what treason can be. But
It
you still need
defines
to.
the only permissible scope.
No,
of
but it doesn't.
treason.
Right, but it
says
doesn't authorize.
treason is exactly
no, but, right,
this,
but it doesn't
and
authorize.
Can be nothing else.
But it doesn't authorize a indictment based on treason. You need to have a treason statute. That's why. Wait, stop laughing. It's so embarrassing. I mean, this is embarrassing. So you agree, don't you? Just answer yes or no. That in order to have a prosecution for treason, there needs to be a statute criminalizing treason. Correct?
There does need to be a statute.
Okay, so would you say,
says
oh,
that there needs to be.
that's statutory because there's a statute giving the cause of action? Of course there is.
Okay,
It's a crime.
Where in the Constitution is the conspiracy to violate rights crime defined?
It's not that the conspiracy against rights
Obviously
part
it's
is
not defined.
no, but who
Where in the
cares?
Constitution
Who
is
cares?
the
The
treason
rights are
crime
defined. Wait, no,
defined?
the rights are defined in the Constitution. That's where the rights are. So there's an embedded constitutional element in the rights.
Yes, but
Just like the
violating
treason.
the rights is not a criminal offense freestanding. Violating
These are
equal
ad
protection
hoc
is not something you can
distinctions.
send someone to jail
So
for.
what? So what that it's not
Pisco,
defined
no,
as a
this
crime
is
in the
not ad hoc.
Constitution?
Pisco,
Yes, it is.
Pisco, can you send someone to jail merely for violating equal protection? No statutes involved. No
Can
criminal
you?
laws
Can you?
involved. Just
Okay.
say,
Same thing with treason. Go ahead.
Okay, and
Same thing with treason. Go ahead. Same thing with treason. Go ahead. Same thing with treason. Go ahead. Same thing with treason. Go ahead.
No, Pisco, I
Same thing
granted
with
this
treason.
point.
Okay, so it's
I
on.
granted
So it's
this point
equal.
already.
So it's equal.
The
So it's
no,
equal.
it's
So it's
not.
equal.
Just wait one at a time. Leave Brian
Pisco,
finish it. Pisco, you can get
it
back
is
in.
not remotely equal because one is actually defined in
The rights are defined in the
Constitution,
Constitution.
and the other is
The
not.
rights are actually
And-
defined in the Constitution.
And what
The rights are
Pisco
defined in the
has
Constitution.
totally lost the plot on here is that you can, of course, sue under the Constitution, not to put someone in jail, but to prevent a violation of the Constitution. What you cannot do is sue under the
Why that
Constitution to
difference?
put someone in jail. That's just not how the law.
No, I'm not. No one's saying that you can sue to put someone in jail. Don't be fucking ridiculous. First of all, although there are some, private criminal suits.
Pisco, would it be possible? Because I do have a hard stop at 10. Can I give you the last? Oh, do you want the
Let's
last
do
word?
last
or
word
do you
real
want
quick, and
the,
then I wanted
or do
you
you want
guys
me to have
to-
the last word.
Yeah, let's give Pisco the last word here, and then you guys can talk about this till you blew the face. But
Okay.
I did have one more point that I wanted to make for you two. So
I think what's been evidently shown is that there are these sui generis, these very special factors that Ryan is pulling out of his ass to try to distinguish why he would be okay with the court and Congress, by extension, stepping in when the president is clearly exercising some preclusive and conclusive authority, such as ordering the attorney general to do an investigation based on someone's Judaism. Then he's like, oh yeah, sure, it's conclusive and preclusive, but Congress and the courts can still get involved. Oh, that doesn't really sound like conclusive and preclusive. Oh, what's different? What's different is they're trying to do criminal stuff in the context of a former president, and it's not criminal. Yeah, that is a difference. That's what I'm trying to show. I'm trying to show that criminal immunity isn't the same thing as Congress being unable to legislate in a given area. That's my point. And this whole shit about treason being, he goes to treason because that's like the one crime that's specified in the Constitution, but Who the fuck cares? You need a statute enacting treason anyway, just like you would need a statute enacting the crime of conspiracy against rights. There are constitutional definitions embedded in both of those statutes, but not perfectly. You know, the treason statute passed by Congress also clarifies the punishment for treason. And so there's essential elements missing from any kind of treason prosecution that would need to be filled in with the statute from Congress. And so on all fours, this is just made up nonsense. The unitary executive thing falls on his face. Even Rob recognized the blatant contradiction in what he was saying, and Ryan struggled to distinguish.
So I know there's no good time to end it, but Ryan, you do have to get leaving. So Pisco, I'll ask you quick, 30 seconds. What does this interaction show you for what to expect January 10th at Word War? First debate there. What do you expect? Any new thoughts based on this interaction? What do you think your prediction for that event's going to be?
It shows that it's going to be a one-sided affair, that Ryan doesn't have a first clue how his whole theory of law pieces together. And just like he failed on Trump immunity, he's going to fail on birthright citizenship. He read the heritage brief, I'm sure. He read the fucking government brief. And that's what we can come to expect. What you can expect from me are hard-hitting questions that make him. I don't care about the MAGA audience that's there. I don't care about the biased and rigged judges that he'll probably put in there. The only thing that matters commentators, sorry. The only thing that matters is between him and I, he's going to know, just like he knew tonight, that he's completely cooked.
Ryan, same question. You've had yet another interaction here with Pisco. Like, what's this give you to predict what will be happening January 10th at Word War?
I feel great. I feel like the audience is going to understand the sort of pedantic semantic distinctions that Pisco draws don't fucking mean much. This is why he consistently loses debates to me, and it's why he'll lose the next one to me as well. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to be able to string together a persuasive case for my position. And I think the audience is going to be moved by it. I think the color commentators are going to be moved by it. The people at home are going to be moved by it. And the legal community is going to be moved by it. And we'll see what happens on the 10th in Atlantic City, live on the big stage before the bright lights.
So you can go to wordwardebate.com and you can still get tickets. There's 3 categories of tickets. The
and
base
look
level
how villainous
tickets.
his picture is. Just
Like,
look how villainous
they
his
made me look
picture
like some kind of ethnic person. I don't know what's going on there. They Mamdani'd me.
It's a certain audience will like it. So, no, tickets still available. You can get anywhere from $50 a base level ticket, which is about as cheap as you could get for an 8-hour event. $200 and some change is the VIP ticket where you'll get to hang out. Ryan, Pisco, both of you hang out in the VIP room if people want to like ask you some questions after the debate. Is that something you both be
Hell
down
yeah,
with?
yeah, I'm down.
Absolutely. And by the way, I just think the idea that you could buy a VIP ticket and speak to the people who are
Never been done
debating
before.
either for or against your position and like see what their worldview is and ask them questions and meet them in real time.
Buy them a drink. You could buy
It's
them
never
a
been
drink.
done. It's never been done.
A sandwich.
Well, no, but honestly, that's the secret sauce of this business model. So I encourage people to do it. I think it's a really good idea.
And for your audiences that are watching now or anyone else that's watching this, I do think that at Word War Debates YouTube channel, X channel, Rumble channel, and Play TV channels, all of this will be broadcast for free. So you can check it out in all of those channels. I think it's going to be an amazing debate. Seeing as how I know both of you, this is probably my favorite debate I'm looking forward to. So I think it's going to be a great way to kick it off. And I do thank both of you. I think it's going to be highly entertaining. So thank you both for coming on tonight. And thank you for participating there January 10th. So
yeah,
thank you.
Sorry, Rob, I do have to run, but
No problem.
Rob, always a pleasure seeing you. Pisco, I'll see you on the hardwood, buddy.
See you later, brother. I'm going to bow it as well, but thank you so much, Rob, and thank you, Ryan. Talk soon, okay?
thanks both of you. Have a good
Night.
evening, guys.
Yeah,
Take it easy.
Well.